played across the ceiling, shifting with the headlights from passing cars. I told myself it was just nerves. Moving in with someone I barely knew was a risk, but I needed a place. I needed this fresh start. The silence at midnight was thick. I kept hearing faint creaks like someone walking in the hallway. My mind raced with stories. Maybe it was just the building settling, or maybe it was something else. I lay there, staring at the door. The feeling of being watched crept over me, cold and heavy. The next morning, I brushed off the worry. I told myself I was being silly, but deep down, something inside me whispered that this was only the beginning. I met Alex online. We exchanged a few messages and everything seemed easy. He was polite and the rent was cheap. He sent photos of the apartment, clean, bright, and perfect for a new start. When I arrived, Alex greeted me with a wide smile and helped me with my bags. He seemed friendly, maybe a little too friendly. We talked about our routines. He said he worked nights sometimes, so I expected to have the place to myself. At first things were fine. We split chores and he always asked if I needed anything, but sometimes his questions got personal. He wanted to know about my family, my habits, even my fears. I laughed it off, thinking he was just curious. But as the days passed, I noticed how his eyes followed me. He always seemed to know where I was, what I was doing. I shrugged it off, pushing away the growing discomfort. It started with small things. One night, I came home and found my bedroom door open. I was sure I'd closed it that morning. My phone was left on my desk, but now it sat on my bed. My favorite mug was in the sink, though I hadn't used it. I asked Alex if he had been in my room, but he just smiled and said he hadn't touched anything. Unsettling noises became part of my nights. Soft footsteps in the hallway, the click of a door latch, the faint sound of breathing when I thought I was alone. I started locking my bedroom door, but even that didn't help me sleep. I felt exposed, vulnerable. One afternoon I found my diary on the wrong page. It was a small thing, but it felt like a violation. My trust began to crumble. I started to wonder if I was imagining things, but deep down, I knew something was off. The night I caught Alex was the night I stopped pretending. I woke to the sound of my door handle turning. I held my breath and waited. The door creaked open, and a sliver of light spilled in. I saw Alex's shadow in the doorway, moving slowly, carefully. He thought I was asleep. My heart pounded so loudly I thought he would hear it. I watched as he crept toward my desk, picking up my phone and flipping through it. I wanted to scream, but fear froze me in place. He took out a small camera and snapped a photo of my room, then my sleeping face. That was it. I couldn't stay silent any longer. I sat up and shouted his name. He dropped the camera and bolted from the room, slamming the door behind him. My hands shook as I turned on the light, unsure of what to do next. The next morning I searched my room. My hands shook as I looked through my things. Behind my books I found a tiny camera, hidden and blinking with a red light. I felt sick. I checked my phone and found strange apps I hadn't downloaded. My privacy had been shattered. I confronted Alex. At first he denied everything, but when I showed him the camera his face went pale. He tried to apologize, but I could see the truth in his eyes. He had been spying on me for weeks, maybe longer. I found photos of me sleeping, changing, even reading my diary. My skin crawled. I called the police. They took everything as evidence. I felt exposed and betrayed, but I knew I had to act. This nightmare was real, and it was finally out in the open. I packed my things that same day. My hands shook as I stuffed clothes into bags, desperate to leave. Friends came to help me move out. Their support made me feel less alone, but the fear lingered. I changed my passwords, checked my devices, and blocked Alex everywhere I could. The police kept me updated. Alex was charged with invasion of privacy and harassment. Neighbors came forward saying they had seen him acting suspiciously before. I felt a small sense of justice, but the scars remained. I learned to double-check locks, trust my instincts, and listen to the voice that tells me when something isn't right. Moving out was both terrifying and freeing. I finally felt safe, but I knew I would never be as trusting again. If you ever feel something is wrong, trust yourself. Your instincts are there for a reason. I ignored mine for too long, and it nearly cost me my safety. Always be cautious when moving in with someone you don't know. Meet in public first. Ask for references. Protect your privacy. I hope my story helps others avoid what I went through. If you've had a similar experience, share your story. Talking about it can help others stay safe. Don't be afraid to ask for help or to leave a bad situation. You deserve to feel safe in your own home. Stay alert, trust your gut, and remember, you are not alone. Safety comes first, always.